Champions Cup final teams are out and they are absolutely stacked. We have got so many of the big names that we were hoping to see. I'm buzzing. I've been really excited for the team news to come out because I've been waiting on Penno, I've been waiting on Furbank and Ram and others, and we've got them. In fact, I was so buzzing for it, I kept hitting refresh on my computer and the teams just weren't being announced. So I went for a walk and thought I'll go and get a bit of the sunshine while I can. The weather in the UK has been amazing the last couple of weeks, but it's due to end this weekend a little bit. Rain is due, so I thought I'd come out for a stroll and enjoy some of it. And what do you know, as soon as I'm out, teams drop, notification goes off, buzz in the pocket, WhatsApp groups going mad, game on. There's a load of big players in the final. So here's my thoughts ahead of that final. Bit of a preview, bit of a sort of few tactical thoughts on how this game's going to go, on the selection, and I will pick a combined 23-man squad, just to see where the balance of power lies. Get your thoughts stuck in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. So headlines for Saints. Let's go with them firstly. Almost everyone is fit, which is absolutely awesome. It's massive. Furbank and his amazing moustache are going to appear in Cardiff. We've seen his arm heavily strapped. He had a broken arm, came back a bit too soon. He was in massive pain. The metal plate was causing him some issues. So I thought that might be his season done, but he is there for the biggest game. I was going to say of his life. He's obviously played for England, but in club colours, the biggest game of his life. Well, certainly since last year's Premiership final. Fraser Dingwall captain as well. I think that probably speaks to the fitness of Furbank, but maybe it could be a more permanent move for Saints moving forward, because Fraser Dingwall, the way he speaks, with some of that brilliant footage that Northampton Saints have released, the way he speaks, so inspirational. You'd run through a brick wall for that fella, so maybe he'll be the captain longer term, but it could just be that Furbank is unlikely to last the 80. Ram is fit, and on the wing, he was a big injury doubt going into this game, so Ram is available. Coles is fit, another injury doubt, so it's all positive so far. Coles on the flank, and that is because one man who is not there is Joano Augustus. Trocky will not be playing, of course. Massive shame for him after a brilliant season. Saw him called up to the alignment camp for the Springboks recently as well. So a big, not the way he would have wanted to go out for Northampton Saints, but he was a Premiership champion last year, and he's got his team into this position. So no Odendale as well, another South African. But Ollie Slightholme is on the bench and available. And I think the fact that Slightholme is back after injury, not a lot of game time. Furbank is back, no game time as well. I think that's the reason why Northampton have gone 5-3 split, and Tom Pearson hasn't even been selected. He's definitely available. He's not on their list of injured players. So it's Pollock to 8, Coles into the back row, Toby Lockett getting the start. Interesting call that. I think part of that thinking is Joano Augustus does so much heavy carrying work, and they don't have someone who will, like for like, do that job. So if you put Coles in the back row, you've got Lockett and Maya Vanua. Then you've got a few guys there who can, between them, carry some of that load, spread it around. And this is the key point with Coles in the back row, an extra line-out option, which is one area Bordeaux have not been great. So Northampton, looks like to me, they are targeting that potential weakness. But that back line, 5 current England internationals, Mitchell, Smith, Dingwall, Freeman, Furbank. Why not us, they will say. And yeah, why not us? Why not Northampton Saints? With quality like that, I'm genuinely quite optimistic for them. It just looks right on paper, having Furbank in the back line, having Slightholme there on the bench. As for UBB, let's look at Union Bordeaux-Bègles. First ever Champions Cup final. Northampton Saints have won it before at the turn of the century. UBB, this is uncharted territory for them, but the motivation that comes from that defeat in the top 14 final, having been to a final and been battered, I think that's going to massively help them on this occasion. They're not going to be overawed in the way that they were last year. So, but they are coming into this favourites, and it's interesting to see what the psychological impact of that will have. Damien Penaud is in. The most unbelievable talent, the most evasive of wingers. However, point of caution, when Damien Penaud is undercooked, it can backfire. We saw that when France rushed him back in against England, and that did not end well for Damien Penaud. So it's a risk, but I mean, it's a risk you have to take, right? It's Damien Penaud, of course you do. Forwards are a 6-2 split. Tatafu is back, but he's not in the matchday squad, presumably down to a lack of game time. Johnny Gray is available, I gather, but not picked. Again, for all of the talk in the forward pack, I think two things. You look for Bordeaux, you look on the bench. Ben Tamafuna, Marco Gazzotti, they've got some quality players on the bench. Secondly, Retier as well. Retier enables them to have a 6-2 split. And he's won the Champions Cup for how many clubs? And then you look at the back line and you go Northampton Saints, 5 England internationals. Yeah, we'll see your 5 England internationals and we will raise you 7 French internationals. Absolutely amazing couple of back lines on display. I hope the game lives up to it. Tactically, what are you expecting from this one? I think both teams are going to play their game and have a crack when it's on. I think, and it was a stat actually, which it was Joe Worsley on the French channel, FR UK Rugby, who I was chatting to him about this game, focusing on Bordeaux, and so I just made that proper middle-aged noise when I sat down. Did you hear that? Made a little grunt. Leinster against Northampton Saints had 20 entries into Northampton Saints 22. 20. And they somehow, through pure heroism and maybe a lack of sharpness from Leinster to a degree, but absolutely you can't take it away from Northampton, they managed to restrict the number of points that Leinster scored from 20 entries to Northampton Saints 22. Northampton Saints had 7 entries into Leinster's 22. When you look at that stat alone, it defies logic that Northampton Saints won the last game. But first and foremost, I think that speaks to the intangible. You know, you can talk about tactics all you want, you can talk about selection. That intangible that Northampton Saints have got, that, well, to say it in French, that je ne sais quoi, Northampton Saints have just got an energy and a bond in that group that just takes them to a place that they shouldn't be capable of. And when you look at their Premiership League position, you can see that they have that bond, and when it's needed, they can drop the hammer and let it go. And that's been amazing to watch, and they had that against Leinster massively. Will they have it against Bordeaux? We will wait and see. But yeah, there's just something in the dynamic of that group which is very, very special, and you can't really account for. You don't know how much to account for that in a game like this. Tactically, though, if Bordeaux get anywhere near 20 entries into Northampton Saints 22, I just think it's curtains. I just think it's absolute curtains for Saints. I don't see Bordeaux wasting as many opportunities, or not wasting, but not taking as many opportunities as Leinster didn't take. I just don't see that happening. They're too good. They're too good. They take too many chances. So I think Northampton are going to have to play a smart tactical game. We saw one matchup when there was, in the Six Nations, it was Le Beep Beep opposite Freeman, as we have got in this game tomorrow. And in that match, England put up a load of bombs on Le Beep Beep, and Freeman got a lot of change. And I think that could be one way that Northampton can try those crossfield bombs. Finn Smith, brilliant at picking out the right moment to do that. And I think that might be one way they can pin Bordeaux, or at least make Penaud and Le Beep Beep sit in the backfield as well, waiting for it, because they're scared about the potential kick. And then that opens up space to get to the edges. Quite often Bordeaux are really aggressive in their defence, and they just stack the defensive line with only Buros back on his own. And that comes to Buros. I think he might be the key man for Bordeaux. For the reason I've just said, I think Northampton Saints are going to have to try and dictate a little bit more territory. and not give Bordeaux opportunities to get into their 22. They're going to be peppering the backfield, and Romain Burros, his aerial game is absolutely brilliant. It's a weakness for France and French teams generally. Romain Burros, I think he could end up being the French fullback, because when it comes to World Cups, when it comes to massive matches, it's non-negotiable. We saw that against South Africa in the last Rugby World Cup. They targeted it, South Africa, and ultimately that's where they won the game. That's where they picked up 2 tries, was from the aerial game. France have got to get better at that. And if they can't get better at it with the players they've already got, Romain Burros is one man who can absolutely do that. So I think he might be their key man, and possibly that Furbank-Burros battle might be the one that dictates how this game goes. If Furbank can come back, be fit, be sharp, be that second distributor, help Finn Smith get the ball into Tommy Freeman's hands with space, then they could be absolutely cooking. Counter-attack those transitions. Equally, if Burros is on top with his aerial game, then he could be the key man. The other battle which could dictate everything. Well, you know, there's battles all over the pitch, everywhere. I mean, I've said Le Beep Beep against Freeman's a great one. But Lamotte against Langdon, they sort of set the tone for their teams. Set piece is obviously going to be massively important. Lamotte is an absolute menace at the breakdown. Langdon is just a little terrier, just like in the best possible way, nasty. So anyway, I've gone on enough about the teams and the tactics. Let me know how you think it's going. Here is my combined 23-man squad for the 2 teams. So I will start with loosehead prop, Poirot or Eogan. Eogan's a proper talent. Poirot is not the best loosehead prop in the top 14, but I would just go with the experience that Poirot brings. Lamotte against Langdon, tough call that one. I'll go Lamotte. He's amazing. Falatea and Davison, similar, both very good, but I'll go Falatea. You've got Coleman against Maya Vanua, I'll go Coleman. Cazot against Lockett, I'll go Cazot. So the front 5, all UBB. However, the back row, I would take Diaby, Petty, Samu. I'll take on the flanks, I'll take Kemeny and I'll take Coles over Petty and Diaby. Number 8's a really, really cool matchup, isn't it? Pete Samu and Henry Pollock, 2 of the form players in this competition this year. I'm going to go Pollock. So the entire UBB front 5, the entire Northampton Saints back row, that sort of gives you a little indication. You know, if Northampton Saints can do a job in the tight, then they could be cooking. As for the back line, Luku against Mitchell, how could I not have already mentioned that matchup? How could I have not mentioned Jalabert against Finn Smith? Now, this is just box office. So good, roll on the game. I'll go with Luku and Jalabert. Centres, Deportier outside, Moafana, Dingwall outside, Hutchison. I'll go for Moafana and Dingwall. I think they've both been amazing players for their teams. And on the wings, Le Beep Beep, obviously. Freeman or Penno. Freeman or Penno. I'm going to go Tommy Freeman for this one. Like, I'd say 99 times out of 100, if Penno's fit and firing and anywhere near his best, I go Penno every time. As amazing as Tommy Freeman is, and I think he'll be the starting right wing for the British and Irish Lions this summer, I'm going to go Freeman over Penno. Burros, Furbank. Because of the lack of game time, I'm going to have to go Burros on this one. So, as for the subs, just looking at that, I can't see a Saints player I would take over the UBB opposite number. Obviously, Saints have gone with a 5-3 split. With Retier, you don't need to do 5-3, you can do 6-2. So I just take the whole Bordeaux bench, and I think that tells you everything. Front 5, the majority of the back line, and the bench. I make UBB favourites for this one. However, on any given Sunday or Saturday, as it is, and with that intangible of the emotion, the bond that Northampton Saints have got, you just never know. And having said, like, I'd pick Luku and Jalabert as the halfbacks, Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith are amazing. So it is properly game on. It is going to be who takes their chances and who can limit the chances of the opponents. That might be even more important than who takes their chances, because I think both these teams have shown they take their chances. Bordeaux will definitely give Northampton Saints some. But how many are Saints going to give Bordeaux on this occasion? If they give them as many as they gave Leinster, it's curtains. But if they can just draw another massive performance out of him, you never know. What a game we got in store. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll be watching the match and then reacting to it immediately afterwards. In fact, maybe I'll do a live stream immediately following the final whistle. Yeah, I think I might do that. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one.